From the very beginning of my consciousness, there was one question that left me in a state of never-ending perplexion.
Zavok! And why is he here? He lost.
Why is he here? Other than the obvious fact that this game recycles assets from Lost World, his character is a bland stereotype and adds nothing to the Force's story. He was barely a threat to Sonic in his own game, but maybe that's just a reason. Maybe there's nothing more to it than that, and I shouldn't bother wondering why. Unfortunately, I couldn't let it go that easily, so we're gonna have to sit here and attempt to take a look at what little bits and pieces Sega established for this boy in Lost World, and the one little scene he had in Forces to see what he was really up to.
Ho, 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 ho! Prepare yourself!
Nothing. Pretty much no creation lore, almost no reason why Eggman even needed the Zeddy at all. What a beautiful way to start this Zavok analysis.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
This isn't exactly a character with a long or even complex story when related to the main Sonic games. So instead of just focusing on what he does, I'm going to dig deep on whatever crumbs I can find about the character and his band of buddies. The Edgy Six consists of Zavok, Fruit Ninja, your average college student, Pain from Naruto, a rare Globgo Gabgalab, and a Green Thought. The worst kind. Fruit Ninja appears to be the Master Splinter of the Deadly Six, training them since they were young little Zeddy. The average college student actually sounds more like your average incel.
As a matter of fact, I've already pretty much given up on hope, happiness, success. Come to think of it, what am I still doing here? Just fall back into bed.
Pain from Naruto makes his special appearance here in a secret mission to capture the ancient hedgehog-tailed beast.
Stinking hedgehog!
But unadmittedly ends up having secret feelings for it instead.
You got spunk, shorty!
The Globgo Gabgalab likes reading food.
Fat boy!
Fat boy!
You better not make fun of my size! That's hurtful!
The Green Thought has all men are trash on her Twitter bio and wonders why she's single.
What? No flowers?
And Zavok is a strong, serious leader of the group and, truth be told, is just genuinely not a good person.
My wife left me and took the kids.
You're a bad person!
This group of misfits take themselves pretty seriously. They live in a giant floating hexagon called the Lost Hex. This hex not only has its own unique gravity properties, but also carries some unique Pokemon that weren't originally discovered in Sonic Colors. Eggman discovered this hex and devised a scheme to take over the world as usual. Eggman built a machine that was able to take the life energy from the real world and use that stolen life energy to strafe himself and his robots. The sinister doctor planned to build an army of robots, and through this army, he planned to take over the world once it was drained of all its energy. This army would consist of robots engineered through common animals found within the countless environments of the Hex.
Transformation 101. Bunnies to badniks. Boom! Instant army.
To help collect these animals, Eggman would need some extra hands. Locating the nearest options he could find, Eggman not only stumbled upon a long-forgotten race of ancient beings, but he also discovered a way to keep them under his control by using a special conch. This special conch I mentioned is like some form of kryptonite to the Zeddy, emitting a frequency that messes with the Zeddy's brainwaves, effectively giving the Zeddy some sort of intense migraine. You see, the Zeddy are genetically gifted and have a unique ability to manipulate magnetic fields using their heads, allowing them to take over simple machines. They're no Magneto, but when they band together, the influence of their powers can multiply. This conch Eggman has completely throws those magnetic fields out of whack and transforms them into major headaches for the Zeddy. The torturing of Sonic and Sonic Forces may or may not be canon due to the localization team changing the wording in the English version. But in Lost World, it really is almost impossible to deny the fact that the Deadly Six were not only slaved for their work, but tortured when they couldn't produce results. I couldn't make that up, because this relationship was explicitly shown in the game. Twice. Enter Sonic, savior of the Zeddy from the bald, fat, angry white man. How does the Zeddy choose to repay him for his act of kindness? It might surprise you.
There's that punk. I've been dreaming about pounding his sorry blue butt.
It's a bit kinky, but I guess that's the Zeddy way of saying,
Thank you, Mr. Sonic.
I'm kidding, obviously. They actually repay Sonic by threatening to destroy his world and killing everyone he knows.
Where are you gonna live when your world's dead, guys? Oh, right. You've been dead too.
You see, Sonic had no idea what the situation of the Zeddy and Eggman consisted of. He just knew that the Deadly Sick worked for Eggman and that they were being tortured. And that was enough for Sonic to butt in headfirst, shoot now, talk later. What a hero.
I own your abilities. I equip you with the most powerful mechs I can create. I even give you a giant sandwich. And you still disappoint me. FBI, open up! Strike, brothers. Make the fool pay for our abuse and enslavement.
Now, after the Zeddy get their chance to fight for civil rights and force Eggman to get some cardio in, Sonic and Eggman team up against the common threat of the Zeddy. The Zeddy gain control of Eggman's super special awesome suck machine, and Eggman convinces Sonic that they need each other to stop the Zeddy. Destroying said machines wasn't an option since it could have caused cataclysmic consequences. By this point, Sonic had already beaten Pain from Naruto and spun circles around the Globgo Gabgalab.
One word of helpful advice: diet and exercise.
That's 3 words.
Actually, cross that. The Globgo Gabgalab was actually to run spinning in circles.
Mom was right. I'm a failure.
Fruit Ninja was the next one up. He despised Sonic as much as the rest and decided it was his turn to teach Sonic a lesson in respect.
Nigga, when my name come up, respect it.
Oh, someone's gonna get taken to school, all right.
I wanted to talk to you on your man in your face. I just come to let y'all know, stop, put some respect on my name. Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking.
This fruitcake of a Master Splinter ended up being the one getting schooled. With Grandpa picked a bad day to forget his pain medication.
Beating an old man like a crowd?
By beating Fruit Ninja's high score, Sonic taught this old man that there is more to this hedgehog than what meets the eye.
And he's more powerful than I anticipated.
You never cease to surprise me, Blue Hedgehog.
It's cute the way he keeps on trying to get past all the death traps and enemies and stuff. I think he kind of likes me.
The group travels to the coldest place in existence to encounter the Green Thought, Xena. Funny how she was too busy caring about her self-image to realize how she got manipulated into fighting Sonic herself. And even Sonic gives her a nice little roast to get the fight going.
Woo. Welcome to another episode of Fuck the Troll.
Move it or lose it, Snow Cone.
The last time we met, you ruined my nail art. Now I have to reapply a whole new coat.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? I am so sorry.
Oh, well, in that case...
Oh no, what I meant to say is, I'm so sorry that you have nothing more important to do in life.
Hold edition, Nick, we're on your side now, bitch. What the fuck, dude? We're on their side now? Why?
Pay for that.
Why? Give me some sucky and I... Don't do that.
She doesn't leave Sonic with as much of a scratch and still has the audacity to say,
Lost to a boy. Lost to a boy.
You know, Amy, anytime someone calls attention to the breaking of gender roles, it ultimately undermines the concept of gender equality by implying that this is an exception and not the status quo.
Funny enough, that in the 3DS version of Lost World, in the stage before Xena's boss fight, the snowball that Xena uses follows you around for a majority of the stage. It's almost like she's obsessed with you or something, chasing Sonic down really hard and freezing him whenever he touches a snowball. Now, if you properly use his wind move, you can temporarily stop it in place, but nothing can truly hold back the thirst of this snowball. It should also be noted that once you unlock the Quake Wisp and you revisit this stage, you can go through a more convenient pathway and pretty much avoid the snowball altogether. With practice, these hoes have no chance of catching up to Sonic. Can I get an amen?
Bro, I'm really about to get your pickle chin that boy. Egg on that collard green head that boy. Oh head on boy, yo dirt that boy, stink ass boy, afro head that, lip gloss chin that boy, ugly ass boy, ugly ass dirt ass.
The next to fall already fell when the girl he liked told him she only wanted to be friends. I'd like to take a moment to salute another brother that fell victim to the friend zone. May his soul rest in peace.
Whatever. She was a worthless drone anyway. Life is all just a game. It doesn't matter. Everything rots. Nothing lasts forever.
What this incel didn't realize at first was that Chad Sonic was coming through, infatuating every girl that even got a glimpse of him. Once he realized the potential that Chad held, his plans changed.
Why did Chad Sonic of all people get all the girls? I'm way smarter than him. I'm way cooler than him. This makes no sense. Chad Sonic must be caught so I can learn his secrets.
What this unsuspecting incel wasn't accounting for was that Chad Sonic's useless wingman, Beta Tails, would realize the trap was there just in time to jump in the way of Chad Sonic. Even betas are falling head over heels over Sonic. Tails got caught in the trap instead, and now the unsuspecting incel found himself with a cuck, not a Chad.
Somebody messed up royally because we don't have Sonic.
But that wasn't even the worst part. Now that Chad Sonic got whiff of that virgin in his vicinity, he had no reason to hold back his real power.
Enough! I can't allow you to do this anymore! And now, Frieza, you are going to pay! He's taken innocent lives again and again! My best friend, Krillin! It's over! Frieza!
I roused myself from a deep depression for this? This whole battle thing reeks of effort. I suppose I should care that Sonic's heading my way to hand me a beating. Just give up, Sonic. It's what I do.
He upgraded from using a measly 5% to a raw 10% power output. The incel stood no chance. The absolute amount of Chad in Sonic dominated everything thrown at him and left the incel elitist with no choice but to go back to his coffin and play some Fortnite.
Only the Reaper wins in the end.
This is the pest that has beaten the others. Pathetic. So, you're Sam. Come with me. Now, I'm going to tear you limb from limb. You're gonna do that. Look at you. One by one, your friends are falling. Soon, you will be all alone. That's right. So watch carefully while I wipe that horrible smile off that ugly face.
Sonic now running at a 10% of his power level, he had more than enough to take Zavok down. Zavok wasn't really that much of a threat himself, but Tails was still being held captive by Zavok while Zavok encountered Sonic, so it gave Zavok the leverage he needed to keep Sonic at bay. Zavok had a pretty big ego, so he made sure to taunt Sonic by constantly telling him how all of his friends were gone and how alone he was. It's pretty relatable, actually. He thought Sonic would be easy to get rid of, so at first he uses his Sky Dragon to shoot fireballs at you and hit you with lasers. Then once you dodge and weave your way into the first boss fight, this famed Sky Dragon of Zavok takes center stage, giving you a fun little laser show. The second time you fight Zavok, he all of a sudden decides that his dragon isn't worth shit anymore and breaks it apart for you. Like, what the fuck, dude? I get that this dragon could be easy to put back together, but without that context, the way Zavok breaks it apart is slightly disturbing. Personally, I grew a more personal connection to the dragon as Zavok to the dragon than to Zavok himself because of the way it chases you in both the Wii U's and 3DS versions of Lost World. It actually gives you a sense of danger, unlike Zavok's total speed punches and boss fights. What's even slightly more disturbing was that Zavok's vehicle in Team Sonic Racing just looks like a severed head of his Sky Dragon. You know, the one he tore apart himself? So after Zavok in Sky Road Zone is beaten, you experience all of the Zeddy again in a boss rush on the Lava Mountain Zone.
This world shall know pain.
The boss is gonna beat me!
With an epic finale of Bowser making his debut appearance in the Sonic series. And as expected, he loses by falling into a pit of fire. We have no idea what happened to the Not So Deadly 6, but after you beat the recycled final boss from Sonic Colors with a little less pizzazz in it, it was way better than the 3DS version, by the way, Eggman claims he will get another conclave like he did before and capture the Zeddy yet again. He said this right as Sonic used another 0.000001% of his power to sabotage Eggman's jetpack, leaving him to fall into a pit of lava.
Sonic!
Nobody knows how long the time period was between Lost World and Forces, but we know it was a time Eggman spent preparing his next grand scheme. Discovering the Phantom Ruby and building an army to declare war on the world. But I won't go too deep into the Phantom Ruby here, but I'll definitely link my Infinite video below since it's where I talk about the Phantom Ruby. It was the main tool Eggman used to take over the world, being able to manipulate reality as he and his recently recruited underling, Infinite, saw fit. In the prequel comic Stress Test, Eggman created a clone of Chaos Zero, and saw that its power was just as formidable as the real deal. So in time, he decided to create clones of some of the strongest Sonic villains we've seen to date. Chaos, Metal Sonic, Shadow, all formidable in their own rights. Zavok was the fourth villain that was added to the team and objectively the weakest. He can't take control of robots as complex as Metal Sonic, and Chaos in base form could have probably given him a run for his money. I also have no doubt Shadow could beat Zavok with ease, so where does Zavok stand? As a prison guard. So after Sonic was bamboozled and captured, he was brought back to a secluded prison on the Death Egg in space. Eggman eventually planned to release all the prisoners into the vacuum of space, so when the Resistance finds this out, they send a squad out to steal a spaceship and infiltrate the Death Egg. They unlock all the doors to release all the prisoners and help all of them escape as Zavok was distracted fighting Sonic. But the lack of showing how the prisoners escape isn't the weirdest thing about this whole situation. It was actually the way to clone Zavok and Sonic were exchanging dialogue. They spent 6 months together, so I'm sure there was some tension built between them, especially with the so-called torture that didn't even leave a scratch on Sonic as well. But Zavok probably was just the one who threw a food tray in Sonic's cell every day and had to deal with the snarky remarks all the time. If anything, that sounds more like torture to Zavok than it does to Sonic. But what really threw me off was the way they were talking, like when Zavok said, again? Then that would mean he's lost to Sonic before, which is confusing because this Zavok is a clone. Essentially a figment of imagination, not the real thing. It's a bit trippy when you realize this might actually means he holds all of Zavok's real memories. And he still decided to work for Eggman despite how he was tortured. If Zavok really had his memories, he would have hated being there, because he was still under the knife of both Eggman and Infinite. Forces really did have inconsistencies in his story, and Zavok being there didn't make it any better.
You are a waste of my time, Sonic, and I despise waste.
In the end, what really pains me was that they couldn't get Zavok's Sky Dragon in Forces. Instead, they gave him that pathetic little egg hornet. And, you know, funny enough, that's how I feel about Zavok. I like his design. I like the way he talks. I like just his character, but in the end, he just comes out feeling pathetic. From the way he almost acts like he cares about his subordinates, but manipulates them.
I'm going to have to find better Zeddy.
To the way he talks like he can beat Sonic, but him and his whole crew are more of a threat to Eggman than they'll ever be to Sonic. As a matter of fact, his whole crew ends up looking like a big joke, which ends up becoming extra ironic when the Deadly Six are now the Deadly Clowns, a bunch of Bowser Jr.'s who are bigger clowns than the clown cars themselves. Look, don't get me wrong, I have nothing but love for this character, and will probably always just like Zavok in general just because of his design and all the little things about him, but the problems with how this character is handled are so blatantly obvious that it will be extremely ignorant of me to not point them out. That being said, I'm definitely looking forward to Zavok's appearance in Team Sonic Racing, and I'm even more interested to see how he'll work in the story. This has been Sir Nistro, Commander of the Robotnik Unit. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.
Oh man! I can't believe he made it this far! He's gonna make me look bad! I mean worse! Is that even possible?
Yes, it is.